Welcome to Comp Giant. My name is Josh, and today I'll be talking to you all about how to go about choosing the right graphics card for your needs. I'll be here to explain all about what they do, how they work, what the difference in price is, and how you should go about finding one. Now, if you're someone who's into gaming at all, or perhaps just wants to ensure that your PC stays top of the line performance-wise, then you'll most likely already know how worthwhile getting a good graphics card is. But for those of you unsure, however, then sit back, relax, and let me explain. What is a graphics card and why is it important? First things first, what is a graphics card? A graphics card is the built-in Van Gogh for your PC or laptop. It renders the image to your monitor by converting data into a signal that your monitor can understand, while hopefully keeping both ears on your head. In simpler terms, the better the graphics card, the faster and easier the image can be produced on screen. This is what makes having a good graphics card important for gamers and people who edit videos. But how would you define what makes a good graphics card, I hear you ask? Well, that's an interesting conversation to have, so let's have it. The common saying remains true, in that you do indeed get what you pay for. However, shelling out thousands of dollars on graphics card when it just doesn't make sense is a fool's endeavor, as it may not even help you as much as you may think. With this in mind, let me tell you about the difference between the various types of graphics cards available to you all. The difference in cards. There are a few different types that are available to you, with the primary two being discrete or integrated. A discrete graphics card is one that is added to the motherboard as an additional component. Those that are looking for a little bit of extra power to add to their machine, gamers for example, will get one of these. An integrated graphics card, on the other hand, is built onto the motherboard, and they'll usually be put into lower-end PCs and laptops. These types of machines are cheap, but struggle to perform any kind of higher-end tasks, and can't really be upgraded too easily. These would be recommended for those of you that are looking for a simple PC or laptop that will only typically be used for surfing the web and saving documents. Another major difference in something like Nvidia cards, a major graphics card manufacturer, is that some are designed for specific tasks. For example, Nvidia Quadro cards are intended to render quickly for 3D and CAD, computer-aided design, and GeForce cards, on the other hand, are designed to render virtual spaces quicker, meaning that they make delivering the next frame quickly a priority. There's also a fundamental difference between the drivers of the two that are released by Nvidia. Both of them can be used for games, but if you're someone who only really wants to play games, then you'll want to go for a GeForce card. Whereas if you're someone who only wants to design, then you'll go for a Quadro. The same is true for AMD's Radeon and the Radeon Pro series. Finding a middle ground. If you do desire a graphics card for gaming, then it's important to find some form of middle ground, especially if you're on a budget. The top of the range cards can set you back thousands of dollars, so unless you're really looking for the best in class, then you'll want to consider how much you're actually spending. You'll need to consider things like the GPU clock rate, the number of pixel shaders, vertex shaders, texture mapping, memory size, and so much more. It's a difficult field to navigate when buying a graphics card, and sadly, Google Maps can't help you here. In this situation, it's best to look at graphics cards' benchmarks. No matter what kind of components make up a graphics card, they will only perform as well as their collective counterparts will allow them to. Having said that, picking an RTX 2080 Ti over a GTX 1080 Ti, for example, is going to cost you a lot more, but the improvement on the card will only be as little as 30% or so it doesn't really scale well. A 1080 Ti will be able to play all of the latest games depending on your resolution. Is the difference between ultra or high graphics really worth spending the extra money? In addition to that, you could be creating a bottleneck in your PC. Buying a component that is significantly better than the rest of your machine will mean that the rest of your computer will not be able to keep up, and this will cause it to slow down in another section of the process, making the new card you bought unable to perform at its maximum output. What you can get for the money. When it comes to ultimately purchasing a graphics card, the best advice you can receive is to look for the best graphics cards for the price you can afford. In the current climate of video cards, AMD currently is the cheapest option, but that's purely because some of their cards at the upper end of the scale simply aren't up to scratch. The best Nvidia card will beat the best AMD card in terms of pure power. Mind you though, the best Nvidia card is a good 80% more expensive than the AMD card, so you need to think if it's really worth it. The RTX Nvidia cards have introduced a new rendering technique known as ray tracing, which traces the light path as pixels and simulates the effect of its encounters with the objects that have been drawn. AMD cards at the current time of filming do not have this. However, they will in their next graphics card generation. At this moment, many games do not actually make use of ray tracing, so is it really worthwhile going through it yet? Soon, AMD cards will have this technology as well, probably around the same time or even before games start fully using said technology. So the answer to that question is yes, but maybe just not quite yet. Whilst you wait for prices to drop, a new introduction of graphics card and a competitive GPU market between AMD and Nvidia can give you a really good end result when looking for the best money can buy. Always buy new. Ultimately, when it comes to buying a graphics card, something that we cannot recommend highly enough is to always buy new. We strongly believe that you should avoid second-hand graphics cards if you can. In the past, many people have used graphic cards for cryptocurrency mining, a method to gain currencies such as Bitcoin. This is a process that puts a lot of strain on the card. Unless you know, and most importantly, trust the source of the second-hand card, you can never be too sure what it was used for previously. And a common rule when it comes to shopping is that if something seems too good to be true, it often is. Graphics cards are complex to understand and often cause a lot of confusion, which is why you have to be very careful when purchasing one. In the end though, being able to play the latest games on the highest settings with the latest graphics card is a fantastic feeling to have. So whether you're spending $100 or $1,000, be sure that what you're buying suits you. Thanks for watching today's video. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead, give it a like, subscribe for more videos like this one, and be sure to check out compgiant.com.